In this video, I'm going to be showing you Electric, another physical modeling synth from Ableton. Electric is designed to emulate the sound of those great electric keyboards from the 60s and 70s. Let's take a look at it. So the scheme with Electric here is that you have a mallet that hits a fork. That fork is divided into two sections, tine, which is where the mallet makes the contact, and tone, which is like a resonator bar attached to that tine that actually provides the resonance for the sound. This is followed by a damping mechanism called the damper that stops the sound, and then by a pickup, which simulates the pickup going into an amp. And then finally, there's a global section. Let's take a look at each one of these sections, and let's start with the mallet. Right now, if I play a note or a chord, it sounds like this. Great keyboard sound, classic. I can adjust the stiffness of the mallet, and it will affect the timbre of the sound. A stiffer mallet is to the right, and a softer mallet is to the left. I can also adjust the force of the mallet hitting the fork. And these two controls together can produce a wide range of timbres. Both of these controls have key tracking and velocity tracking modulation built into them, so that if you wanted to enable your keyboard to be more touch sensitive, you could increase the amount of velocity modulation. And then if you hit a key soft, it applies one level of force, and if you hit it harder, it applies much greater force. Next is the noise section. The noise section is the noise of the mallet hitting the fork. And you may not hear that right away, but if I increase the level of the noise, you'll start to hear it more clearly. You can change the pitch of the hit, and the amount of time it takes for that hit to decay. Now the fork section, like I said, has two parts. The tine is the initial material that the mallet makes contact with, and we can bring that level up so we can hear it more clearly. And I can adjust the frequency balance, or the color, as well as the decay time. It's a subtle difference, but it's there. The tone is the larger part of the fork, and that's the resonating bar attached to it. Again, we have a decay control and a level control, and this time, instead of a color knob, we have a release control that will allow us to adjust how long the resonator resonates. The damper section controls the damping mechanism, and there's a tone control and a level control for that. Now, if I bring the level up, we'll hear the damper more clearly. It's at the back end of the sound. When I let go of the key, that's when the damper happens. You can hear that kind of clicking sound. Now, this knob is interesting. This is the attack release knob. If I set the knob all the way to 100% towards the release side, then that damping noise happens on the release. If I switch it all the way to negative 100, it's on the attack side, and now it will happen at the front end on the attack. And if I leave it in the middle, it's kind of a balance. It's a very subtle sound, but you would miss it if it weren't there. The pickup simulates the pickup going into an amp. The symmetry control sets the location of the pickup along the length of the tine, while the distance control sets the distance away from the tine the pickup is, and so both of these together give you some interesting timbral properties. And of course, there are input and output controls to adjust the volume of the incoming and outgoing signals. Finally, in the type boxes, the R and W down here, you can choose between two types of pickups, electrodynamic pickups and electrostatic pickups. And the best way to learn about those is just to try them out. You can hear the timbre change. It's kind of a big difference. And in the global section here, there is a global volume control. There's a voices control, which sets the maximum number of voices available for Electric to use. It defaults to the max number of 32. There's a tuning control in semitones, as well as a detuning control. This stretch control here will make higher notes go sharper and lower notes go flatter, and so it puts it out of standard intonation. And then this pitch bend sets the range of the pitch bend wheel. So like I said, this is one of the simplest of the plugins Ableton offers in terms of its interface, but there are still a large variety of timbral possibilities, and I thought we would go through some of those in this video. So I have here this little session set up with the same melody with 4 different presets. You can see the MIDI notes there, and here are the presets. So we have the crunchy piano, hard piano, and bells for hard presets here, and we're going to hear the same melody across those 3 presets plus the default. Here we go. And I have a little drum beat to go along with it. Here's the default preset. Here's the crunchy piano. Hard piano. Totally different sound. And now a bell set. So you can see, just by adjusting these relatively few knobs, you can get some pretty radically different sounds. I highly recommend you try Electric if you are looking for a great old school electric keyboard sound.